I just quickly want to say that we live in a cancel culture where we are hypersensitive and hyper paranoid, and we get so very passionate and angry for sometimes the wrong things. And I always sit back and I wonder why. Hi guys, Colleen here. Welcome back to my channel. Please excuse the bare face. This video really isn't one that requires any kind of makeup or looking dolled up because it's a serious issue. I just want to apologize for the background music. It's not even 7 o'clock in the morning and there is a fete at the stadium. I'm seeing it, I'm watching it right now, and we'll just have to bear with the situation. But there's some stuff I really need to get off my chest, and this is coming from the last video I did where I did commentary on a competition that was hosted by a local makeup brand. There was some quote-unquote fallout coming from it, and not to say that I was surprised, but I was kind of surprised at the manner in which it was done and how quickly it was done. So clearly shout out to whomever is stalking, trolling my page, you know, keeping it fresh and up to date, you know. So perhaps I might get a DM even quicker than the last one complaining about the video content. And forgive me for rambling and sounding all emotional in this situation, because it is a situation where I feel deeply about it. I feel deeply that I am being intimidated for using my voice for something that at the end of the day, whether Sacha decides to break, bend, or manipulate rules to their benefit is their prerogative, because it's their competition, you know. But on a serious note, threatening and trying to suppress my freedom of speech is something that I, as a person living in the free world, a citizen of Trinidad and Tobago, and as a legal practitioner, don't take lightly. Don't take away my freedom of speech because you don't like what it is I have to say. Not because what I said is misleading, it is defamatory, it is going to incite. No, because you simply don't like what is being said. And ironically, the thing that is being said is merely a recollection of facts that already played out, of events that already played out. I didn't have a hand in how it played out. I did not set up rules for a competition. I didn't change the deadline on a competition, you know. I didn't. I'm just simply making observations based on what played out on social media for the past couple months. Just to give you a quick rundown on what it is I'm talking about, you know, if you're completely out of the loop. Exactly 1 week ago, I posted a video called Sacha Why, in which I gave commentary on a competition that was hosted by Sacha Cosmetics for Trin Begonians. Now, this video was purely commentary. It even was supported by a timeline, which to my mind adds more credibility to the story than me just talking off the top of my AWS, basically, you know, because in this day and age, we are people who love receipts. So I was just basically lining up the receipts in a chronological order. Of course, in lining up said receipts in a chronological order, I would have pulled from Sacha's Facebook page where they would have publicly advertised the post for the competition. Included in that video was obvious theories, which again were supported by posts that Sacha published publicly. Of course, coming out of it, I would have used screenshots of these posts to, like I said, corroborate what it is I was theorizing. Now, coming out of that video, the following day, which was the Monday, a certain someone slid up into my Instagram DMs. Let's call him Mr. X. Mr. X slid up in my Instagram DMs to message me about my video. And I will put a screenshot of said DM. I will take out his name because I'm not about to give anybody any clout. I'm sorry, you had to work for yours. You would see in the DMs the gray messages are mine and the white ones are his. Just so you know who is doing the talking and the alien face, I blocked him out because I ain't giving him no clout. No, homeboy, you had to work for yours just like I'm working for mine. Now, according to said person, he's like, hey Caroline. Now, I don't know this person from a can of paint, so I don't know what gave them the idea or even like the comfort in referring to me by my first name, because last time I checked, he ain't following me on no social media and I don't know him in person. So, and to me, if you're none of the above, you ain't pitching marbles with me enough to be calling me by my first name. So anyways, getting back to the DM. Hey Colleen, I do respect your views in your latest video, but as a fellow content creator, I will never wish for my work to be featured without informing me. Some of the images featured in your video are original content created for Sacha Cosmetics and not by Sacha Cosmetics. Therefore, there is an agreement between Sacha Cosmetics and I that allows them to use my work. I do know you won't know the difference between content for or by Sacha Cosmetics as an average citizen. But I will really appreciate if in future your future videos, you try your best not to use external content, since these images are attached to my personal portfolio and the portfolios of other content creators. It seems that one of the main points of your videos is a misunderstanding that companies or us creators may have about copyright laws or laws about the use of original content. So I'm sure you'd understand why I had to address this issue. Now, rooster aside, I do apologize. I looked at this message and I was like, okay, clearly I have ruffled some feathers, right? But funny for you, you did not do your research on me. Now, like I said, my responses are in gray, the person's messages are in white. At first, I didn't know who it was I was speaking about or speaking to and what their interests were. But as soon as I realized the who and the purported interests they had or they're alleging to have in this situation, this is when the conversation really started to pop off. And it popped all the way off. Now, of course, homeboy asked if I could remove it, to which I said no, because it falls under fair use, sorry, and I am not infringing on anybody's copyrights. I mean, and I'm going to show it here. All the images that were referred to had at the bottom how many shares it had on Facebook. in some cases close to 400 shares. Tell me something, photographer X. Are you going to hunt down every single person who shared this image because there is a high chance they did not have your permission to use it in whatever way they did? My question was, are you blackmailing me? Because this seems to be a blackmail situation here. Of course, my question to Sacha would be, Sacha, how do you feel about this? Is someone who, of course, they are alleging, I don't know how true it is, that they have done work for you. You more than likely would have paid for that work, and they are now seeking compensation for same said work from a third party. Yeah. Now, whenever somebody creates an image, a video, some piece of artwork, it is subject to copyright. Now, what I know of the law is that you cannot use this person's work without their permission or even crediting them. Now, that being said, there are also loopholes in the law that allows people to use copyrighted material in what is called in the YouTube world for fair use. Fair use meaning that it is used for parody or some kind of commentary, and the person is not seeking to infringe on that person's copyright, intellectual rights on that particular piece of work. Now, in Trinidad, copyright laws do cater for some use of copyrighted material in quoting works, in commentary and that sort of stuff. I mean, if that wasn't the case, then the news wouldn't be able to use a lot of stuff in commentary or even reporting incidents, you know. That being said, I would have put a disclaimer at the beginning of that video that is the center of all this drama, for want of a better word, you know, and I would have quoted from a very public post, a post that, well, posts plural, that would have been shared many times over on Facebook. That being said, my question to photographer X is, for every person who would have shared your work on Facebook, did you slid up in their DMs as well and told them to remove said content because you don't appreciate the use of your original material because they didn't obtain permission from you? You see how nonsensical this whole situation sounds? Like, really? You know, it has been shared many times over, and I'm willing to bet money that he did not slide up in any one of those persons who shared his work DMs to tell them to pull it down because he doesn't like his work being shared, especially without his permission. So that being said, I was certainly most amused when he decided to stand on his pulpit and preach copyright laws to me. Now, the first point I want to point out is that given that Sacha in their rules of their recently closed off competition more or less declared copyright on other people's work in order for said people to qualify for their competition, it would be no surprise to me that in that agreement between photographer X and Sacha, that they would have clearly stated that coming out of this agreement, right, and having him being paid for his services, Sacha Cosmetics would retain the intellectual property of all materials covered under said agreement. So again, it has me reasonably querying whether this person, photographer X, truly does retain the intellectual property of these images. You try a fast one there, but no, it didn't work. And I sure do not appreciate being threatened and intimidated. Because at the end of the day, my mother did not raise no fool. The only person who probably getting any benefit from this is the brand, who clearly is getting a lot of traction and ad. Not to say that they really need me, because let's be honest, Sacha was big before I was even born. Now, me doing this video is certainly not to get clicks, views, or likes, because I can tell you, as much as I'm exposing myself to getting likes, I also expose myself to getting dislikes. YouTube is that platform, I think it's the only platform on social media that I am aware of that also has a dislike button. So yeah, so coming out of this, I mean, I'm waiting for this love letter. But in the meantime, this brings up an even more serious issue. And I would have indicated on my blog page if you want me to discuss it, because contrary to one person's belief that I am seeking to start a drama channel, this has nothing to do with drama, but more so the fundamental issue of someone's right to freedom of speech being infringed and threatened upon by someone bigger with more clout, more resources, because at the end of the day they didn't like what that person had to say. Because let's be honest, photographer X, you didn't really watch my video, and I can tell that through my YouTube analytics. YouTube has this analytics thing where they tell you the gender, the age bracket, the geographical location, and the subscription status, and even which device you would have watched my video on. And bro, you didn't fit any of the facts for that analytics. Which of course leads me to the reasonable conclusion that you would have been tipped off by someone who has a vested interest in what that video had to say, you know, and seeing that the main subject matter was the makeup company, it would be no surprise that somebody in the camp would have whispered to homeboy's ear to go slide up in my DMs to try and intimidate me to pull down the video. This is a case where even where it's not apparent, this is intimidation, because let's be honest, at the end of the day, I did not comment on how bad the ad looked, whether the font placement or the color saturation was crap. It was more so about what the brand did. Ergo, they probably would have more of an interest in this topic, i.e. my video, than the person who created the ad for them. So they tried this roundabout loophole way of trying to get the video pulled down by saying copyright infringement, because they damn well know that in order for me to take out the images, I would have to re-edit, re-upload, and of course I would lose all the views that I would have gotten, all the comments and engagement I would have gotten on that video, because it's a 9-day wonder. That situation has already passed. But by homeboy sliding up in my DMs, he has certainly reignited this 9-day wonder, probably for a 10th day. Now, last time I checked, because yesterday would have been my country's 57th independence anniversary, The citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, freedom of speech and expression is, last time I checked, constitutionally protected. So anybody who has a independent thought, view, opinion, and expresses said thought, view, and opinion without the fear of backlash, victimization, suppression, oppression, is usually dubbed a bacchanalis where I come from. And that's really unfortunate, because in other countries all over the world, those people, depending on what the cause is, would be dubbed a hero. That being said, I really wanted to bring more awareness to the situation, and there was a post on Facebook that I saw this week in another group that I am a member in, and there was a passage in that post that really struck out to me, and it was so very relevant to the situation that I'm currently going through with this particular entity and this person. One of the biggest lessons in all of this is that silence gives people power over you. By not speaking out about the things that impact you, you give humans, and by extension entities, the ability to manipulate you and your emotions without consequences, making you a puppet of people who don't have your best interests at heart. And I thought this was so very relevant to my situation, and I am speaking out because I refuse to be silenced on the matter, right? If you want to continue threatening and intimidating me, by all means go ahead. There is a God at the end of the day, and as my auntie says, God does not wear frilly nightie. He does not sleep. He sees what you do, and karma is indeed a biatch. Yeah, you tell me what you think on it, because I have my opinions on the situation and I have supported it, even though I don't need to. I could simply have an opinion, but I am not one of those. I like to have opinions that are based off of facts. That's just me. So yeah, sound off in the comments below. Tell me what you think on the situation. Am I exaggerating? Am I being super or hypersensitive to the situation and I just need to chill, or am I onto something here? Let me know. Hopefully the next video will be back to my first love, which is beauty and makeup related item there. So that is basically it for this video. Thank you for watching. Like I said, sound off in the comments below, and until the next time, bye guys.